Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Tuesday the 3rd of March 2026. This is it, the big one. It's episode 400. Woo-hoo, party time.
I can play something. I'll annoy Dan to play a little. How's that?
Okay, a third audio track for him to edit in just for one shitty little sound effect.
Right. Sorry, Dan. Yeah, 400. How about that, dude? That's pretty cool. That's probably about 399 more than I thought we would be. To be truthful, but look at us. Look at us.
Just about figured out how to learn how to use the microphone properly. So
I still haven't figured it out.
I didn't realise that it mattered which way round I had it. So, some days where my audio sounded a bit distant is because I had the fucking microphone backwards. I didn't realise it made a difference.
What do you mean by backwards? Like you're talking into like the end that has the wire going into it? Like what do you mean backwards?
There's two sides to it, and there's one side with like a thinner metal mesh coating, and one with a sort of slightly more robust one. And I thought it didn't matter which way around it was, but apparently it does.
You're adorable. Yeah. All right. Listen, you're gonna sound like you're really investing a lot of energy and money into this show. Now
it was driving me nuts. Like, because sometimes I record and I play it back and I'm like, yeah, that sounds brilliant. But sometimes it'd be like, this sounds crap. What is going on here? I thought it was just an absolute like flip of the coin whether or not the audio would be good. But at least I've figured it out now after 399 episodes.
Zencaster catching strays left and right. That's great.
Chinese internet. What is going on?
Fucking. We blamed everybody. Oh, that's great. That makes. Well, I always feel like so. Every once in a while, again, I've said it a few times here, where I have the same routine. Me and Cheryl have the same routine every night when we go to bed. And there was a couple times where, she's kind of doing her thing downstairs while I'm prepping upstairs to go to bed. Have YouTube on, and our show will come up, and I'll be like, let's I just put it on just because I love hearing us. That's really what it is. We're so vain. I need to hear it. And I always feel like I'm hot. I feel like I'm really hot all the time, and not voice wise. And I always play with the levels a little bit on my end to make sure. I know Dan's probably compressing the fuck out of it, and I know I already have a bit of a boomer of a voice, but yeah, I still haven't quite. And you know me with this, like I swear to you, I don't touch this laptop to do anything but this show. Like this is a MacBook that is pure, and I mean, I take it to do sports stuff too, but
not even a little bit of pornography.
Not on this one. I mean, don't ask me about my main computer. I think I call it the whack box. You kidding me? that thing's brutalized. Actually, I haven't really. Wow, we're really getting in the weeds now. I haven't looked at any.
Don't do it. No,
I haven't looked at any.
You went with that initial train of thought before I really interrupted you.
That's right, but it's like I haven't looked at any pornography in about a month. Like I haven't, because I had to get rid of it because of my issues with my kidney stones still occurring. Like they think it's Like now we're at the point where they think it's. Oh, never mind. I don't even want to get into.
We're not allowed porn here anymore in the UK. You know they're banning step family porn.
Oh no, that's oh. Well, that's. I feel like that's
any fun here in Britain.
I know. I can't believe that's a thing in the sense of like how mainstream that is. Like it feels like all the pornography out there is step sibling and stepmother and like I'm just like, man, we've really, what's next?
What is the UK government's problem with it? Do they think like we're all just going to become? Yeah, it's like
I mean, that might be the main
the fucking uncontrollable animals that just the whole UK economy is just going to collapse because everyone's
whacking off the step porn. Yeah, the fucking parliament is screaming their heads off. Yeah, I don't know how we got here though. Like, how did this become very normalized? I don't understand that. And I know, trust me, I know the difference between reality and fantasy and what pornography can do. But like you can jerk off to this, but if you heard this in real life, you would throw this person off a cliff, wouldn't you?
So when you say you can jerk off to this, are you talking specifically about this episode of the Super J Cast?
No. Everybody can do that.
Blessing, listener. If you want to have a little fiddle in the downstairs department, go ahead. No kink shaming here.
No.
Go nuts.
I'm kink shaming a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. Like the step porn is weird to me in the sense of how normalized it's become. I don't know. I think that's kind of predatory-ish.
I think we've got bigger things to worry about in society, Damon. I'm not that fussed about the step sibling porn right now. There's other issues that I think are a bigger threat to us as a society.
Okay. All right. This whole all right. What do you think of this Iran thing? Pretty pretty fun.
Yeah.
The answer. That's crazy, right? Yeah. Wacky. What a world we live in.
Not great.
No. All right.
No, I don't like it, actually. Hot take. Yeah. I find it distasteful.
I know.
I don't care for it.
No, not your cup of tea.
No. And I love a good war, don't get me wrong. I love to get back in with a nice cup of tea and some biscuits and watch a bit of the old war. But this it's not doing it for me, Damon.
Well, listen, there's nothing more romantic than cuddling with the missus and a bottle of wine and watching Scud missiles just fly over. so great. Oh, Lord. Yeah, what a world we live in. Oh, boy. All right, well, listen, step porn.
Good news for you. Your boys won the hockey.
They did.
You might be warmongering psychopath tyrants, but also the best at ice hockey. So well done.
You take the wins where you can get them, Joel. Yeah, it was fun. It was really. We had people over in the morning. It aired at like 8:00 in the morning our time. So, but we weren't the only ones. Like there were bars and restaurants and everything that were open early for the action, and it was a great game and a big win. And yeah, finally, my boy gets some. Gets a championship, gets a medal around his neck. That'd be nice. You ain't going to see it in Toronto. We're not even going to make the playoffs.
How are the Maple Leafs doing?
Oh, God almighty. As you like to say, circling the fucking drain at this point. There is a very good possibility. I would say the odds are well in the favor of them not making the playoffs, which is just preposterous. But here we are. But it does
best for you because the playoffs bring you nothing but pain and misery.
You're exactly right. So now I can just kind of get on with the playoffs and enjoy them, and not have to worry about the fucking Leafs doing what they do. Oh Lord! But I am excited. Our friends in Australia. I don't know why I put I rolled my R on that one, but I like the Australian, the footy, if you will, the Australian rules football. I do like that. And That season's right around the corner, so I'm excited for that. Hockey playoffs. Oh boy, things are just and the 400th episode and the banning of step porn. I feel like we are.
Any of the older English football Premier League, as you call it?
Yes, I did.
Because it's
I
ruined.
did.
English football's ruined apparently, and it's dead. And Arsenal have killed it.
Oh no,
That's what the discourse is at the moment.
Well, I know that you guys recently tied Chelsea. I think it was 1-1, right?
No, we beat them, mate. It was 2-1.
Oh, did you?
Although
Okay.
it was very nearly 2-2. We're doing this thing now where every time we take the lead, we forget how to play football, and we stop passing the ball to each other. We're just sort of panicking, booting the ball as far away as possible, just unable to string 3 passes together, which is not good for my mental health. I was watching the end of the Arsenal Chelsea game, so we had a 2-1 lead, and it was sort of ticking away like last minute of stoppage time, and Chelsea sort of threw the ball forward and flicked it on, and a goal that was disallowed, and it turned out to be offside. The linesman flagged, but when the Chelsea player Liam Delap bundled the ball in, I was just like, watch it. I was like, this is about to be sick. I was like, I can't do it anymore. Like I could see the warm, bright light of God's embrace approaching me. I was like, I'm actually going to die now. This is it. This is the end of my life, and is a last minute Chelsea equaliser that's done it. It was disallowed in the end, like flagged offside. And we did win the game, but afterwards I couldn't be in the house anymore. It was like quite late. It was dark outside. It was dark and cold and wet and rainy, but I had to go for a walk because I couldn't. I was so agitated and upset. I was just like, I couldn't get out of the house. So I just went outside and went to sit with the geese in the pond for a while and just let off some steam, because it was too, as they say, Dave, it's the hope that kills you. And we're still in the running. We're still top of the league, and we're in the running for 4 trophies. We've got a relatively favourable run in the Champions League, that's the big one I want to win. Should be getting to the semi-finals of that if we don't play complete shit, which we have started to do recently. So I should be happy and excited, but I'm taking no joy from any of this, because it's horrific to watch, and I get stressed and upset, and I enjoy.
You've seen the story before too. It's not like
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We got the Man City juggernaut breathing down our neck, and they're not as good as they have been in previous seasons, but make no mistake, like in terms of the infrastructure of the club, they are still an absolute behemoth. They've spent like we've spent a lot of money as well, don't get me wrong, but they spent like £500 million in the last 12 months. January transfer window, they signed like 2 of the best players in the league just because they having a bit of a wobble, and they're breathing down our necks as usual, and I'm just terrified that it's all going to go tits up, and if it happens, I'll just have to log off. Like I might just have to give up football, because it'd be too much. Like the banter will just get absolutely rinsed by opposition fans, because no one wants us to win. Like every single fan of every other team, they hate us. I don't know if it's like they just dislike us because we're a really annoying group of fans.
Okay, that doesn't help.
Or it forces some sort of introspection. Like if a club like Arsenal, who are not money cheats, win major trophies, then it forces all the other clubs to think, well, why aren't we winning trophies? If Man City win stuff, people could just hand wave that and be like, oh, the money cheats won. It doesn't mean anything. There's no glory or shame to be extracted from that. It's just the cheats won, so no one really cares, and life goes on. But I think if Arsenal do win a major trophy this season, people are going to be really upset about that, and I fucking love it. Like we're stuck in this kind of discourse at the moment where everyone's saying Arsenal have ruined football because, we're really good at football, and when teams play toe to toe with us, which has happened in Europe in the Champions League, we just batter them. Like we've wiped the floor with some of the top teams in Europe, like Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan. Like they have come to play football against us, and we've just smashed them. But in the Premier League, teams don't want to play football against us because they know we're really good at it. So they do low blocks, like they put the entire team behind the ball, and all of the teams in the Premier League, top to bottom, they're all very physical, very well-drilled disciplines. Like they can keep their shape structurally, and they're making it extremely difficult to score. Like if they set up their team to not to defend, it is really hard to break them down with lovely attacking flowing football, because our attack's not the best, right? I think some of the signings that we've made are not really panned out, and some of our attacking players are underperforming, but it's like there's only so much you can do when teams are putting 11 men behind the ball, and those 11 men are all like elite, well-drilled athletes, right? So we found the edge this season via set pieces, like corner kicks, to a lesser extent free kicks. So it's mainly the corner kicks, which all teams get, by the way, right? All teams are allowed to score from corner kicks, but we've got players who are extremely good at taking accurate corner kicks, and we've got players who stand in the box who are extremely good at running and timing and jumping and heading the ball. So that has been our sort of secret way. Well, secret way. It's not secret. I mean, it's the fucking corners, right? They've been around since the dawn of the game.
I'm familiar with corners, yes.
Right. That has been our way of kind of breaking open teams that do this low block, where we score from a corner and then they've got to come out and play a bit, and then it's sort of more favourable to us. But other teams have tried to stop us doing that by sort of grappling with us at corner. And we've also got a really good set piece coach, Nicholas Jover, who's like very innovative and comes up with these really good sort of technical set plays, like a lot of variety of different things to keep opposition players guessing. So that combination has made us one of the most effective teams at scoring from set pieces. And to combat that, opposition teams have just started like grappling us. So it turns into what looks like basically a wrestling match in the penalty area, where opposition players are kind of like grabbing our players and stopping them from running, and our players are grabbing their players, and it's just basically degenerated into a big ugly mess. Like, it's not good. I don't like it. I don't want football to be this way, and I would rather teams played us like the teams do in Europe, and we did the nice free-flowing attacking football, end-to-end stuff, and we just battered everyone easily. That would be much better. But yeah, now that we are really good at set pieces, all the other like rival pundits and fans are like, oh, they've ruined football. And when other teams do it, like Liverpool have scored quite a few set piece goals, and they're like, oh, the kings of set piece, Liverpool, this is how they've been so excellent at it. But when Arsenal do it, it's like, oh, they've ruined football, football's in the bin, and Arsenal fucked it. And I've gone through an era of being an Arsenal fan where we were pilloried, we were mocked for not being physical enough, and we would get monstered at the set pieces, and teams would roughhouse us and score against us with relative ease, and pundits and rival fans would say, oh, Arsenal are soft, they don't like it up them. I lived through an era of multiple Arsenal players getting their legs literally snapped by opposition defenders because they were allowed to, for the most part, get away with it. Like the kind of physical treatment that Arsenal players have suffered over the last 20 years is like absolutely diabolical. The kind of things were sort of encouraged in the media and the pundits, like, oh, Arsenal don't like it up them, you get physical and they fall apart. That was the narrative, and it was accepted and allowed and encouraged. But now we're actually more robust and quite physical and good at this stuff. Now suddenly people don't like it, and I'm going to be as insufferable as if we win either one of those trophies, God forbid if we win both of them, I'm going to be absolutely obnoxious. You'll never hear the fucking end of it. I don't want to be liked and praised by rival fans. I don't want people to be, oh yeah, you got to hand it to Arsenal, they're the best team. I want it to absolutely boil their piss that we are doing better than everyone else and winning trophies and stuff. And I want, at the end of the season, people, if Arsenal win the league, people would say, oh, that was the worst Premier League season ever, that they shouldn't give the trophy out. All that, I'm just going to lap it up. I swear, Damon, I will not go to sleep for about a week just hoovering up all the salty tears of rival fans and pundits if we do win one of those major trophies. But I'm just paralysed by the fear that we won't win, and I'm not enjoying any of it, and I hate it. Sometimes when I watch football, I wish I was dead. So yeah, there's that.
Oh my goodness. Where are we in, like, how's the math in this? All right. So you're top of the table right now.
Yeah, we're 5 points clear of Man City, but they've got a game in hand. So if they win that, which they probably will, then it's more like 2 points basically. And we have 2 matches against them coming up. There's one league match at their stadium, and there's also a League Cup final, which I've got a ticket for, actually. I'm dreading that as well. So I'm going to be going down to Wembley for that, and that's going to be horrendous. So, yeah, we are... It's technically, it's in both of our hands, because if Man City win all their games, that includes a game against us. So if they beat us, they'll be champions. If they win the rest of their games, it's theirs. If we win the rest of our games, it's ours. Like, we don't have to beat them. If we win the rest of our games and just avoid defeat when we play City away, then that'll do. But
that's a huge game.
9 games left, and I hate it, Damon. If there was a way I could just be sort of sedated or like put in cryogenic freezing for the next few weeks, just wake me up in May at the end of the season and tell me what happened. So, like, if you're playing like FIFA, like sim match, so you don't watch it or play it, you're just like fast forward to the result. I would do that, because I can't take it anymore. I'm actually going to die from the stress.
Oh my god, that's not good. When is that game? When is that City game?
The cup final is March 22nd, my wedding anniversary.
Oh my god! No, Jesus. See, oh god, you're gonna have one eye on that game all day long, and you're gonna make her very upset. Here's what you got to do. Can I give you?
I'm gonna be out. I'm booking my train now. I'm getting the earliest train possible into London.
Okay.
I don't want to be anywhere near the family. We've arranged it. We're going to do the anniversary dinner the night before on a Saturday. Perfect. But that Sunday, I want to I won't be able to sleep anyway, so I'm just going to try and get down to London as early as is comfortable. Get some good food. Go down to Chinatown. I'm craving a bit of noodle some biang biang noodles, and get down to Wembley. Yeah. Oh, I feel sick just thinking about it. I wish my friend hadn't got me the ticket. I've not been to a cup final since 2007. That was the last cup final I went to, which was the same competition, the League Cup final. That was in Wales, Cardiff, Millennium Stadium, where we played against Chelsea, another money cheat team. We played our kids, like we put out our second string side, because like the League Cup traditionally has been one where big teams sort of rests their more important players, because it's one of the less prestigious trophies. So back then we went on the run to the final playing our young players, our second string team, and the manager thought, well, they got us to the final, they should get to play in the final. That's their reward. And we did take the lead, but then we just got monstered by a dominant, physically and technically superior team. So that ended in heartbreak. So yeah, that's the only other cup final I've been to. So not particularly good memories there, but it'd be nice to see us win a trophy in the flesh. But there's the hope that kills me, Damon.
Listen, we're all pulling for you, because, well, at least I am anyway, because I got no fucking hope. That game's going to be actually really interesting. I will tune into that City game, the league game. I want to see that. That's important. Holy shit! Yeah, I hear you, dude. Trust me. I mean, look, it's not. We're not even in the same ballpark as Arsenal. I mean, like, I don't have anything to kind of compare. I have game 7 of the first fucking round for the past 7 years. But yeah, I get it. It's sports can be fucking the biggest joy in your life, and it can be like the biggest, like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? So, good vibes, man. I mean, look, law of averages just says it has to be your year. It just has to be. So, fuck everyone else. Live it. Make it happen. And I hope for the best. I mean, that's the best you can do, dude. Just try and enjoy the ride. I know it stresses you out, but just try to enjoy the ride a little bit.
Yeah. I want to say congratulations as well to Jeremy Donovan from Keeping It Strong Styles, just become a father. So,
oh my gosh, really?
But taking time off the podcast henceforth, Jeremy, what are you doing, mate? I had a baby in the middle of a global pandemic and kept the fucking show going. Is that the lack of regard you have for your loyal listeners, that suddenly you become a dad and you're not, I'm not doing the podcast anymore? Is it more important?
He's not doing it anymore? Jeremy's not doing it.
He's just going to take like a week or 2 off, but to me that's unacceptable.
Oh, listen to you, Mr. Fantastica Mania over there. The minute the word Fantastica Mania came out of somebody's mouth, I was like, I'm out. I have not. No.
Actually, I have a newborn child in one arm and the microphone in the other hand, making sure week in, week out, I delivered what the listeners need. This one audio content, except World Tag League. I've got to draw the line somewhere. Aside from that, I am here, rain or shine.
You're great. Even the slightest inconvenience, I'm out. Nope, I can't do it. No, that's not true at all. But last week, I don't know. It was just like, again, fantastic. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but like, it was just impossible. Oh, I do know what was going on. It was like jam packed to the gills. My schedule. And I just couldn't watch a show. And
you hate Mexico. You hate Mexicans. You hate
no. Let me be very clear. I love Mexico. I'm going there in legit 2 days. I'll be on a beach in fucking Mexico. I'll be at the resort. Banging tree, everyone. It should be lovely, and I am looking so forward to it. We have been just fist fucked by this winter, like it's like no one's business, and I'm over it, and I cannot wait. I will have 2 drinks in my hand and floating in a pool at all times. They're gonna have to wring me out like a fucking wet sock when I'm on that plane coming home, because I'm just gonna be waterlogged, because I'm not leaving the fucking pool at all for any reason whatsoever. I don't give a shit. But we need it. Like, I was talking with Cheryl, and we were just like, oh my God, this was the greatest idea you've ever had. Like, because I got this for Christmas. I got this for her for Christmas. Just because we were like, it was just a great idea. Now we're gonna reap what we've sowed. I can't wait. So now I love Mexico. Love Mexico. Love. LOVE, love. So the Fantastica Mania, listen, it's not for me. What are you going to do? But we have other things to talk about.
I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to subscribe to the Super J-Cast Patreon, because on the $10 feed, there were 3 pieces of exclusive audio content that subscribers would have enjoyed since the last free episode of Super J-Cast. So there was a Fantastica Mania primer where me and Jacob went through all the key issues.
Nice. I
also did a New Japan Cup Pick'ems episode with Chris Samsa and
Excellent.
Jeff Andrews, and there was also another Fantastica Mania sort of midway review and discussion, sort of the historical element of Fantastica Mania, the relationship between New Japan and CMLL, with a few people that were more knowledgeable than I was. So yeah, get on board with that, and you would be well in the loop with the excellent content that keeps getting churned out on the Super J-Cast Patreon. But yeah, I mean, Fantastica Mania, I would, if I may, just sort of briefly wrap up the final 2 shows. So there was the double header at Korakuen Hall. I'll just give my overarching thoughts on the standout things from that. So Shoma Kato, he had his send-off matches. He had one against Titan and then another against Averno. And I think the sort of lucha style is something he sort of struggled with earlier on in the tour, but seemed to be more comfortable with it as it went on. And particularly the last match against Averno. Like, Averno gave Shoma Kato a lot. It was a really competitive match. And you look at the time that it went, it was a 10-minute, 27-second match, which is more than you usually expect for a Young Lion match. Like, it was a lot more competitive than it had any right to be, really. So I was impressed with that, and I think it was a good opportunity for Shoma Kato to experience the sort of matches that he will be involved in CMLL, where he's going to be doing a lot of work from underneath, babyface in peril, against the Rudo sort of bigger wrestlers, those base wrestlers. So yeah, it was very interesting to see, and I hope he has a productive excursion while he's out there.
I have an exclusive interview when I'm down there. You know what? I'm going on excursion. Is what's happening. I'm going on excursion as well. Yes.
I enjoyed Shingo Takagi coming out in his Ribera Steakhouse jacket when he was Tatsuratsu Guerrero. I think that was his gimmick name was. That was very funny. There was a couple of really good matches on the February 26th show at Korakuen. So if you've not seen that, those ones were absolutely worth going out your way to watch. So there was the World Historic Light Heavyweight Championship, where there was a shock win for Averno, who defeated Atlantis Jr. 18-minute match. It was really, really excellent. And like, I can't really analyze lucha matches in any great depth. I've got, like, this is my very reductive understanding of it, that you got your flippy technico guys, your baby faces, and you've got the base Rudo type wrestlers who are the bad guys. And I much prefer the matches where you've got the technico against the base, the Rudo, because I feel that is more of a sort of stylistic match that brings out the best in the Technicos. Now, obviously, it's much more complex than that, but the two matches that topped the show were the absolute case in point of what I love to see in these matches. And Averno is a guy who looks like Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé, who has no right to be as good at wrestling as he is, but he's just so fun to watch. And you look at a guy like that, you think, he's probably just going to phone it in on a tour like Fantastica Mania. But they went like balls to the wall this match, Atlantis Junior and Averno. It was really, really great. So very surprising to see Averno win. But I love it. I love the Rudos, like the guys who look like they've just waddled out of a bar and put on a singlet and ready to just do a bit of wrestling before they like shuffle off to bed. So they're the highlight for me for these Fantastica Mania tours. So that one was really good. And the main event as well, Mascara Dorada defeated Hechicero, 17-minute match. And again, just brilliant. Two of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't think it's controversial to say that. Hechicero, just a brilliant technician. We've seen plenty of matches with him and Zack Sabre Jr., and he was an excellent base for Mascara Dorada. And it wasn't just like flippiness for the sake of it. I thought they told a really good story in the ring with the way their styles, really good chemistry between them. And I thought Hechicero was a really good compliment to the style of Mascara Dorada. And there just seemed to be a concerted effort on this tour to make Mascara Dorada look like the guy in front of the Japanese fans. And I don't know if that was sort of intentional, if he's going to be coming back. Like I thought, is there a chance of him doing Best of the Super Juniors? But I feel like he's too big a star for CMLL to lose for that period of time to go like 4 and 5 in a Best of the Super Juniors. But there's enough talent on this tour that I think will be coming back. Like I hope, and I'm optimistic that they'd have 2, maybe 3 CMLL guys in Best of the Super Juniors. Like, your usuals like your Titan and Templario, who have been closely aligned with some of the stables in New Japan. But some of the younger guys, like I was impressed with what I saw from I've forgotten the guy's name now. The team of Futuro and what was his name? This is really going to annoy me now.
Come on, Joe.
No, it's gone. I'm going to look it up. Valiente Jr. That was it. So Valiente Jr. really impressed me. I thought he was great. Hijo de Stuka Jr. was really good as well. He's a guy who, again, more of a Rudo base character who I think would be a good complement to some of the young up-and-coming stars in the New Japan Junior division, and heard he was making good impressions backstage. So yeah, it'd be very cool to have some of these guys come back for Best of Super Juniors, because I think the relationship that New Japan have with CMLL is enduring. They've been doing it since
probably the best one they have.
Yeah, they love each other. They're ride or die. The loyalty runs deep. And yeah, now that CMLL had such a successful 2025, I think hopefully some of that success can rub off with the interactions with New Japan. The second show, the Friday show, there was quite a fun match between Tiger Mask and Magnus, where Tiger Mask had his annual banger that he does. It was only 7 minutes, but I like seeing Tiger Mask being an angry bastard and having a showcase, because he can still go. Like, you might not realize it from the limited interactions that he's able to have, but that one was a lot of fun. There was a Templario versus Ultimo Guerrero singles match, which was really good, and Mystico against Soberano Jr. to round off the tour, where Soberano Jr. is doing this gimmick. He's like a kind of sleazy sex porcupine. He's like comes out with all this like shiny leather, and yeah,
that wrestling staple of sexy porcupine. Ranked up there with some of the greatest gimmicks of all time, Joel. I mean, Undertaker and
everyone loves the sex porcupine. It's of course. A gimmick as old as time itself.
Oh, just classic. Yeah. I think Nature Boy Buddy Rogers originally was the sex porcupine. If I'm not mistaken, Lou Thayer's dabbled in the sex porcupine gimmick a little bit. Yeah, it's just an instant win. Unbelievable. How are the crowds?
Good. They love it. They
really do.
I think it's one of those occasions where there's that real sense of interaction between the wrestlers and the fans. Like the CMLL wrestlers are obviously having a blast. They love being there, and even down to everyone's favorite thing, Mystico going around and high-fiving everyone and kissing all the babies. Like it's great. Everyone's having a blast there, and
Do they have to turn on the house lights to get them out?
And
Oh, yeah.
The dubbed themes, which it's like really strange, bizarre, discordant music for the ones that they couldn't get the international copyrights to. Yeah, I like Fantastica Mania. It's not something that I know a lot of people hand wave it, and I get it, but I feel that the Korakuen shows that they do always deliver. They're always a fun time.
Yeah, the finals are usually, the final nights are pretty solid stuff. Yeah, the stupid horn. What are they called? The Vuvuzelas or Vuvuzellas or whatever the fuck they're called.
Vuvuzelas. That was from the South Africa World Cup in 2010. I just get like PTSD listening to those. I absolutely hate it.
I know.
But it wouldn't be Fantastica Mania without it, would it?
No, it would not. Again, I'm coming from a perspective of I didn't see any of it, so this is why Joel's doing a little bit of heavy lifting to kind of wrap up the Fantastica Mania tour. Taguchi, did the horse make an appearance?
No, he was doing the Egyptian pharaoh gimmick.
That's right. Oh, there you go, Taguchi. I think he loves it. He loves that. He can just be a fool. He can just act a fool the whole entire tour. He shines.
Yeah, Tsuji was doing the Philip Marlowe Jr. Pudding Man detective gimmick.
All right. Okay.
It looked like a homemade mask with like the silhouette of the Marlowe character. It looked very, very silly, but I enjoyed it.
All right. Was Kushida on this tour at all? He likes the Fantastic.
No.
Okay. All right. Look, I know a lot of people get into it. It's just a little dead spot for me, but that's all right. That's all right. Doesn't have to be, and everything doesn't have to stick with me. That's fine. Yeah, it is a decent little break. But now we pick up. We're in New Japan Cup world, and we have New Beginning that just ended last weekend. So it feels like we're back to the this universe, this time traveling universe. We can now reset and get back to the brass tacks of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So, how was your experience attending the New Beginning USA live?
Yeah, so Cure Insurance Arena is for my first time in that particular arena. Trenton is a shithole. There's really nothing to do anywhere around the arena. So when I got there, I was a little early, so I was just kind of chilling in the car, listening to the flagship while I was sitting in the car. So shout out to Rich and Joe for keeping me entertained in a fucking parking lot that I didn't have to pay for because I got there so early that the people to pay for parking weren't even there, and I didn't have to pay for parking. But I was just chilling out, and the problem was I just didn't want to hit fucking rush hour traffic. Anywho, Trenton, it's just shithole, and I think that didn't help attendance. The arena, even being a shithole, it was like a minor league hockey size. So it wasn't like, for people who are familiar that live in the States or maybe have traveled for other New Japan shows. Like, it wasn't American Airlines Arena. It wasn't the United Center. It wasn't Madison Square Garden by any stretch, size-wise. But even then, only like the lower level and the hard camera side tickets were sold. So once it started to curve, no tickets were sold, and the side that the camera is on, it was completely barren, empty. And the only people that were sitting there were people who just got sick and tired of sitting next to people. Really, that was it. So let me say this. One, I think that every worker on that show had their working boots on, which not only did I appreciate, like, it was like somewhat unexpected, because this had all of the trappings of, this is a New Japan light show. This is a U.S. based show. This is a Rocky Romero coded show.
Yankoid slop show.
Slop show, correct. Now, that again, everybody who got in that ring, I felt gave 110%. I really do. I think every match. I don't think there was a stinker on the show. Now, that said, I think the company did those guys a massive disservice. The arena was not a good fit. They had to have lost money because, again, they only sold tickets. Tickets were only available for half the arena. And the optics of it just looked a little bit low rent. Two, like they carted out the fucking strong ring apron. I was like, are you kidding me? Like they couldn't just send it over, put it in a fucking box and mail it over. It bothered me. It bothered me because it just showed that it was like either A, we're going to pinch pennies, or somebody forgot, right? Lack of detail. Again, the video montage, again, if you go to New Japan shows, they'll play a video on screens, jumbotron, whatever you want to call it. Kind of hyping up stuff and getting showing little video packages of New Japan Pro Wrestling. They had a video highlighting the New Japan shop, which was actually kind of funny. Chris Charlton throwing boxes and Tanahashi catching them in London and in New York. But the highlight package video get you hyped for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Joel, it was so old. I don't think there were two people in that video that currently work for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like Naito was you would have thought Naito was the focal point of the company. Seriously, right? Super strong machine. Seriously, I mean, it was Naito. Liger's in this fucking video. And how long ago was that? That was like 6 years ago. What else? Who else is in this video? Ibushi was in this video. Again, no one, I think Jay White was in it. Okada was prominently featured in this video. It was just like, holy shit, guys. Like, how can you press play on this, let alone not make a new one? And how long would it really fucking take to pay someone $200 and be like, hey, you're pretty good in, I don't know, fucking iMovie. Who gives a shit? Like, piece together a nice little hype video for us here. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, it just felt like a disservice. That said, again, I do want to really make clear that I think every wrestler on this show put forth the effort to make this show feel somewhat special. I told you, and I kind of stick by this, it was a very junk food type show. And what do I mean by that? Like, the food was really fucking tasty, right? Like, it was good. It was pizza and wings and nachos and fucking, that kind of, you're feeling good. But then the next, that night, that next morning, you're not feeling that good. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt with the show. Like, I thought the matches were good, but it was definitely two North American tastes, right? And we'll go through match by match if you want. But, I just think that was the feeling overall. Like, when I left, I was like, it didn't feel like I was at a New Japan Pro Wrestling show, per se. The crowd wanted to chant, "This is awesome" to everything. Everything was awesome, Joe. Everything was.
They started doing that during the tag match with Alec Price.
Oh my Lord!
I was like, guys, come on, have some standards for what was awesome. You got to protect your awesome benchmarks a bit more than this.
Thank you very much. That was my thought. Like, wow, you guys are. And here's the thing, though: the crowd was into everything. Like, Despy got a nice pop. Ishii got a nice pop. Even like David Finlay, I thought got a solid response. Like it wasn't like people were sitting on their hands. Like people were into it, and that was good and also bad because again, you got plenty of like they just wanted to chant, and they wanted to let everyone know what was awesome, and they wanted to. And again, I'm not going to sit here and tell someone how to enjoy a show. Like that's, but it kind of it. You definitely knew you were in the United States. Like the Yankoid imbeciles were in full effect. And again, that could be both good and bad. Like a crowd can help make a match even better, right? If they're into it and they're reacting to everything, that's not a bad thing. It's sometimes look, you know what it is. It is what it is. It's not something that I can't say I didn't expect it, but it got to be a little much for my tastes. But okay, whatever. But overall, I thought the show was very good. I thought the guys did excellent. I thought matches themselves were solid. Again, were they a little high spotty? Were they a little, not a lot of connective tissue? In some cases, yeah. But, you saw, like, when the bell rang and the 3 count hit, like, that space in between, you thought, this is delicious. But then, the next morning, you're shitting your brains out. That's the best way I could describe it.
What an analogy. All right, then, so started off first match, David Finlay defeating Fred Rosser, 12 minutes, 20 seconds, overkill. We're all scanning this one for clues as to what is next for David Finlay. I don't think they gave us anything here. There's no possible way of discerning from this what's going to happen next. Like, it was an absolute safe pick of a match where he could walk out the door and it would be a perfectly acceptable way for him to go, and he could re-sign, and then you could continue to do stuff with him. And he, teased the thing at the end with him picking up the microphone and then just dropped it and walked off and did the too sweet with the Knockout Brothers. I thought the match was really good. I continue to enjoy Fred Rosser. He's not an elite worker or anything, but I still think he works really hard and has got a nice sort of physical, heavy, sort of gritty, nasty wrestling style that I think would work well in Japan. It just, for all the people that I speak to, they've got nothing but praise for him. Like, absolutely love the guy for all the hard work he puts in and all the help he gives to other people. But my understanding is that he's just not been given the call. Like, no one has asked him, hey, do you want to come over to do a tour in Japan? There's just like no interest in it, which is a shame. Maybe this might be the year for it. I don't know. But I kind of feel that he was put in this spot just because it's a nice, safe match to have. Well, maybe there is still a bit of uncertainty about what David Finlay is going to do next. And I know, like, we would all love to see wrestlers when they're on the way out of their company putting over the next young up-and-comer. He's done that already, right? He did that against Callum Newman at the New Beginning show. So if this is his last match in New Japan, I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. And I will say, did he necessarily look in the physical shape of a man who is about to sign for a major US wrestling company? Not really sure. And I've never been a body guy, but I know how things work over there, Damon. So that was a little thing I saw that I was like, a bit of work to do there if you are joining the Fed. But
well, Joel, they just signed that big powerhouse Danhausen. So
it's true, yeah.
that monster.
I take it back.
Right, they're switching things up. I love this match. I thought this was an outstanding opening match. I really did. Fred Rosser is cut. Like, he's not just big, he's cut. That said, I don't see him ever making that trip for like a cup or G1 or maybe a world tag, maybe. It's just not going to happen. And again, I don't know. I've never spoke with the gentleman. I've never had any type of contact or communication whatsoever. But maybe it's a thing where he can't necessarily go there for an extended period of time. I don't know. But it does feel very odd that the company itself, especially when it comes to stuff in the States, definitely lean on him. But he doesn't sniff anything in Japan, which is, again, kind of weird. I thought the match was really good. Finley, I've said it a trillion times, but I don't think people quite fully can wrap their heads around the fact that his loss is going to be a big gap that needs to be filled. And I don't think many people have necessarily the talent to be able to do it. Opening match, you're right, it was safe in the sense of no matter what the finish was, they can, it's going to be no harm, no foul. Okay, Rosser putting him over, great. Is anybody going to lose sleep over that? I don't think so. And if David did put over Fred, it wouldn't be like this massive shockwave through the industry kind of thing, in the sense of, well, everybody kind of knew that, he at least has some of his bags packed, it feels like. So for an opening match, for a crowd that was, again, ready and raring to go for everything, I thought they did very good. I thought David Finley played up the heel antics great. The fact that he jumps him before the bell was very cool. Again, opening match. It started out hot. I thought this was a great way to start the show, and it started out hot.
Second match was the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship. We've got a new champion, Damon. Oleg Boltin defeated Tomohiro Ishii 40 minutes, 2 seconds by Kamikaze. I mean, this match must have seriously fucked up Ishii because he's injured now. He's not able to take part in New Japan Cup. He's been replaced with Satoshi Kojima. Personally, I blame Tony Khan for that. But either way, they had a real crowd-pleasing match. I mean, I think it says a lot about the type of people that are coming to these shows that there is such a great reception for Tomohiro Ishii. Like, I don't know, like, maybe I should embrace that and be like, look, Ishii is a Hall of Famer, like, all-time great worker, and he should be given his flowers by these fans. But there's also a little bit of me thinking, is this a group of fans that are still harkening back to the glory days of like 2017, 2018 New Japan? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit too critical there. But either way, this match absolutely delivered what it set out to on the tin. And they just beat the piss out of each other. And Oleg Boltin looks like a guy in front of these fans, which I think needs to happen. I would love to see more of him getting big spots like this in the States. Not so much that he starts to attract the attention of other promotions, but either way, this is a really good match.
He and Ishii, when I say he is considered high in the pecking order to a lot of American fans. And again, I would say the crowd was, look, I don't think people were buying a ticket to say, oh, let me relive the glory golden years, right? I think the people that are there follow the product, know what's going down. And it wasn't like people were coming out and people were looking at each other like, who's that guy with the fucking fuzzy hat? And like, that wasn't happening.
The compilation video at the start, being like, where's Naito and Jay White? What's going on?
Well, you would have thought, the way those videos were. So I will give the people that were there credit in the sense of it didn't feel like they were lost. They were. So I'm going to give them props for that as well. Ishii's, again, I think he can do no wrong in their eyes, and well, honestly, there hasn't been many times where that would be in question. Like I feel like he delivers consistently. Again, you could talk about repetitiveness. You can talk about, hey, you get one Ishii match, you get them all. But okay, great. But it's still great. He still really does more than at his age he should be doing. Let's be truthful. Bolton, like, I like the fact that they're doing everything they can, and maybe not everything they can, but they're doing enough to make you feel that, okay, he's going up every rung of the ladder. Like, he's slowly but surely climbing, and the singles titles help, and the Even the tag titles help and everything. I got the feeling, again, this was just one match live. There could be a myriad of reasons. I don't know if, like, right now, like, I like the path that he's on. I don't want to rush it with him. And I think that people have this idea of him needing to be 5 steps or even 3 steps ahead of really where he is right now. He's not ready yet. He really isn't. You could see a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but there were times that you felt his inexperience in the ring, and again, I think that comes with time. Like, there was a time where it felt like things were going to unravel quickly, and if it wasn't for the fact that Ishii was in that ring, and let's just say if it was fucking Umino or just somebody in that, not experience, but not a lot of experience comparatively, it could have unraveled really fucking quick. So again, I think that's going to come with time. I truly and honestly, look, can I be very honest here? Is this title a real title? Like, what strong is not a thing, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the strong branding has been taken off these shows, so it's.
So what is this title?
View this title as like a relic of a
right
bygone era that nobody has any particular fondness. So I don't know what the point of it was. Does it benefit Oleg Boltin having this title? Did anyone remember that Ishii was the strong openweight champion?
Yeah, no.
Where are the strong tag team championships? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. So again, is it a win? Is it a singles title? Yes. Is it? Can you consider this a mini rung that he's climbed? Sure. I don't know the point of the title. Now, that being said, once again, these guys, look, there were some spots that you were just like, whoa, shit. Like these two guys went out there and, to me, did more than they needed to. And I mean that in a good way. So we were 2 for 2. Like, we were coming out 2 singles matches. One of them, we have a full-time New Japan guy. In the first match, we have a full-time New Japan guy and a full-time U.S. New Japan guy. Singles matches, clean finishes. We were off to a good start. I got to be honest with you. I was like, okay. And again, looking at the card ahead, I was like, all right, this so far so good.
The third match was the AEW National Championship with Ricochet successfully defending against challenger Taiji Ishimori, 14 minutes 29 seconds with Spirit Gun. I've got to say, Damon, the commentary was doing my head in this match. You weren't subjected to it, but the entirety of it, they just were talking about Ricochet being bald and being envious of people with hair. It was so off-putting that I really just wanted to watch the rest of the show on mute. So, yeah. Well, what did you think of the match?
It was okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a huge fan of Ricochet, modern day Ricochet. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that. Like, it was nice to see Ishimori. I don't think this was a bad match. I don't think this was even an average match. I thought it was a good match with 2 guys that I have a hard time keeping my attention for, and this title, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't even know what this fucking title is. They just made up this fucking title. I don't think Ricochet is even a third of the guy that he once was.
I was going to ask you, how would you feel potentially about him being in a G1?
I don't know. like I don't want to like I say these things, and the full disclosure of it's not like I sit here and with a remote in my hand can't wait to turn on fucking AEW to watch Ricochet, or go back
Right.
and look.
I'm giving you the book, Damon. You can choose. You got one spot in the G1. Do you give it to Ricochet or Fred Rosser?
Ricochet. Now, if you said Fletcher, if you said Will, if you said so, I would absolutely. I'm going that route. And again, I'm going by what I know he is capable of when it comes Ricochet. That is, I think he has a little bit more name value. I think he has a little bit more recognition.
It's just a gimmick I find off-putting. I know he's a very, very good wrestler, but I just find that...
What is this gimmick?
Quite annoying bald man? I don't know.
I'm that. That's me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to judge a fucking guy for one match. And here's the thing, the match was good.
It was good. I liked it. I liked it well enough. It was fine.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like something's not there with Ricochet. I don't know. I mean, if it's the gimmick, then it's the gimmick. But I don't know. I could not, for the life of me, get into this one.
Fourth match was Kushida and El Desperado defeating Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. 30 minutes 57 seconds. Effort was there. Energy was there.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I thought it was good. I thought it was solid. I know that they got signed by AEW, if I'm not mistaken. So good on them. And apparently they're pretty active on the East Coast here. Not like that I go to a lot of indie shows anymore. But I thought they did well. I thought they did pretty well. I mean, the problem is that while they were cut, and I mean like physically, like they were muscular, they weren't big. Like it was noticeable, at least to my eyes. I'm not sitting here fucking like you need to be, you need to be fucking Hercules Hernandez, but you gotta have something. But they looked a little bit. Again, I wasn't like I was sitting ringside, so but it felt like if Kushida was bigger than these kids, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know where this started. I got to give you a pet peeve of mine. I don't know where this started, Joel, and it's hard for me to describe. But I've seen it more and more recently, and I don't like it. That spot where we're whipping a guy into the ropes, and they springboard themselves into the ropes. So they spread their arms open, just straight out, and they kind of dive head first and tuck their head into the top rope to bounce off and then do something. I hate that. It looks terrible. I don't know why. When did that become a thing? I must have seen it 2 times, 3 times on this show alone. What is that? It makes no sense. I hate it. You know what I'm talking about?
I was struggling to visualize it. To be honest, I thought you were going to do I thought you were describing like the Shawn Michaels thing where they get thrown a kind of flip over the top.
No.
Standing on the apron.
Okay, so
you're not describing that.
Make a box. Just kind of draw a box in front of you, right? Now I'm going to whip you into one of the ropes, right? So you're going to go straight into the ropes and kind of jump right before the ropes, in the middle of the ropes, mind you. And you're going to tuck your head so that your shoulder blades make contact with the rope. So you're going to bounce off head first, boom, off the top rope, spring laying back on your feet, and then hit a move.
Yes.
Are you just saying that?
Sounds rubbish. I hate it as well.
I don't like it. It's terrible. I wish they would stop doing that. I know that's amazing. That's my pet peeve of the match, but that was the pet peeve of the match. But I thought they were good.
I was not expecting that.
No.
Very specific thing to get annoyed about.
Incredibly specific, but yeah, it annoyed me to no end. And again, I told you, Despy got a huge pop. It felt like Like, I don't know if it translated via the satellite systems to the home viewer, but yeah, like I was actually kind of surprised at how much of a pop. Like when those acoustic guitar strings started ringing, the place kind of went. I was like, wow, how about Despy being over? Sounded good. But it was a good match, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see who was it? What was her name? Bryson. What was it? What was the name of it?
Alec Price and Jordan Oliver.
Yes, them. I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of them. I would be shocked if you didn't. We need to get them on the gas though. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll have you back for Super Junior Tag League, lads.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then the fifth match was the NJPW World TV Championship with Konosuke Takeshita, the challenger, defeating the champion El Phantasmo after initial time limit draw. Takeshita won the restart with the Raging Fire.
Great match. Like again, I felt like there was a little bit of junk food in here, but truth be told, like you could easily plop this match into any New Japan big show, and I think people would be happy with it. It felt important. It like people were definitely fucking into it. And I think the closing stretch of the opening 15 minutes, when they were kind of counting down and they were hitting near falls and trying to get the win, people were into it. They were biting on a lot of those near falls, a lot of those big, what you think would be the finisher and kickouts, and there was a lot of that, a lot of spamming of moves, as the kids would say. And then they did the hey, listen, we did the time limit thing before, 5 more fucking minutes, and everybody kind of popped. But I think everyone kind of also thought like, he'll be like, nah, fuck that, give him the old middle finger, and then out they go. Well, I'm not going another 5 with you. I'll get you next time. But he came back in, and they actually restarted the match, right? And then, I think it took people a little bit to kind of, because they went right back at it. They started throwing forearms. I think it took people a little bit. Like, I think people were waiting for all right, we're just going to kind of go back and forth, and then El Phantasmo is just going to, run him off, and then he's just going to scoot back to the locker room. And that never happened. So people kind of started to get back into it and back into it and back into it. And when the belt, when the finish happened and the belt, apparently changed hands, even I texted you and was like, apparently he's won this TV title. Who knows if we see the TV title again? Who knows if it's something that they'll put on ice for a little bit? But the match itself was great. Like truly, like if this were third from the top on a G1 night, I don't think anyone would complain. I really don't. I thought El Phantasmo did exceptionally well. He did one moonsault. He did springboard top rope over the guardrail into like the second row. And that was quite a distance. And I'm not gonna lie, that looked incredible. Like I didn't think he was gonna clear it at first. Like I was like, he's never gonna. In my mind, I'm thinking he's never gonna fucking clear this. He cleared it with quite a bit of distance, which was remarkable. Yeah, I thought the match was really fantastic. I really did. I mean, Rocky Romero aside, who did added nothing to the match, but he just wanted to glob off of the hottest guy, and I get it. I mean, listen, you run the show, you're going to glob. Match was outstanding. I really, and again, once again, the thrill of the 15-minute chase is fantastic. You got to get it in 15 minutes. I think I love that, and that's why this. I hope this title, they don't just fucking ignore this title, because I really, truly, honestly believe in the concept of it. I think it's well needed. The sprints are fantastic, especially when you have champions that are solid and can do those sprints. Like it was fun. It was a really fun match, and both guys worked their tails off. I hope they don't kill the fucking title, because I think the concept of it is really something special.
The sixth match was the IWGP Tag Championship, where the Knockout Brothers, Oscar and E2Ice, defeated Gates of Agony, Toyo Leona, and Bishop Con, 17 minutes 58 seconds. The story going into this one that they were telling on commentary was that when Gates of Agony were over for World Tag League, Yuta and Oscar were young lions then. So they were trying to run with a narrative that Gates of Agony still perceived them as young lions and were underestimating them. I don't think that quite matched what happened in the ring, which seemed to be Gates of Agony wanting to look like big, strong muscle men, which they are. They're big lads. And they did not want to bump for Knockout Brothers at all.
Really
Like, it seemed to be the match was built around them being big, strong, tough muscle men. And then in and around that, Knockout Brothers did their signature moves and then won the match. I thought the match was just decent, but it was quite notable to me how little they gave Oscar and Yuta. Like, maybe they do still perceive them as young lions, but I would have liked it to be a bit more physical, because like we know Yuta, Ice, and Oscar can really lay it in with the strikes and the physicality with which both of them wrestle, but I don't think we really saw that here. It was a match that I think made Gates of Agony look strong in defeat. And fair enough, they put over Knockout Brothers, can't argue with that, but yeah, I was quite taken aback by the lack of bumps that they took throughout the match.
Yeah, there's something that I think a lot of people feel the same way that were there live. I don't know if this was a matter of chemistry or it was a matter of stubbornness and people didn't want to do what other people wanted to do and vice versa. It didn't feel like they were on the same page. Look, I don't know much about. I don't even know the fucking names, Joel. I mean, that's how little I know about
the challengers. Let's just call them the challengers.
The challengers of Bishop Korn and Toa Leona, Gates of Agony, Joel. That's what they're known as. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it was, I don't know, chemistry, willingness. I don't know. I didn't feel like they were on the same page for most of the match. It was long too, wasn't it? Don't you think it went a little long? It was like 10.
Yeah.
It was like 10:30 at night. By the time this, I think, even got midway point. Because I remember, like, I was looking at my watch and I was like, "Ugh." No, maybe it wasn't 10:30. It was probably around 10. But it did felt like I honestly thought it was going to go quick just because of where we were with time. And it felt like it went a little longer than I even kind of was thinking that it should have gone. Am I in my mind with that? How long did it go? Do you have anything?
18 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe a bit excessive considering they didn't do a huge amount in that match. I think they could have shaved a good 5 minutes off that. And
yeah, are we bringing back? Are we bringing back our favorite tag team of Gates of Agony? Gates of Agony. Oof, these names.
No,
We're bringing them back.
I've seen enough. They're fine. Like, I'm not. They're a good team, but if we're talking about guest teams from other promotions, there's other wrestlers that I'd rather see. I want Speedfire. Is it Jet Speed or whatever the team is? Is it Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey? I want to see them back in New Japan doing some dates.
I mean, they're prominently pushed, aren't they?
I'll take your word for it. I don't follow the product.
Who knows?
Sorry.
All right, bring them back. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I just didn't know. I just didn't feel like they had good chemistry in this match. So we'll leave it at that.
Seventh match, IWGP Women's Championship. Shuri defeating the challenger Athena. 70 minutes, 56 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It didn't feel like. Here's the thing. I think even the live crowd tried to get into it. I don't even know if they were 1,000% into everything. I understand that for whatever reason, the U.S. shows had a very good and long run when it came to women's championship matches. A lot of times it stole the show, and even like not even like title matches. Like there have been times where matches like number one contender matches would be, right up there with the best of what would be presented on that show. I don't know if this was it. I don't know if it's the fact that I was hoping for something better. I don't know if it was the fact that the match previously kind of cooled off things a bit. I think for a lot of people, I think they were swimming upstream. It was a tough little spot to be in, and I think I never really kind of am the person that's like, oh, you kill a crowd by the pacing and how you set up a show. And I don't like, if it's good pro wrestling, I think people will get into it no matter what. It may take them a little bit. But I think people, by and large, if I don't care if you put great back to back to back to back to back to back, I think people, if it's great, people are going to respond to it. I think on this show, the pacing, the match, where they put the matches, like it felt like we were definitely cooling down a bit. And if you felt it in the crowd, and this match, I know I keep bringing it up like I'm some fucking old man, but it's like 10:30 at this point. When they're, these guys are getting on, and I don't know. I don't think people could get into it. I don't think people could get to it. And I'll also say that for the most part, everybody around, like I wasn't near a ton of people, but I'm observing the crowd. And every person that came out, people knew, got into. And again, I don't know if they were just burnt out. I don't know if they were just like, but it didn't feel like this was a match where people were like, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. And that's blah, blah, blah. I feel like there was some doubt of that. And then the match just felt cold. Like, I don't think people... a lot of times, even if you don't know a storyline or you don't know the people in the match will help catapult that, and people will just rock and roll with it. And I don't know if people hadn't had the energy to do that at this point, which is weird to say. Like we did have a show at a nursing home, but I don't know. It really didn't stick for a lot of people, at least in my mind. It didn't stick.
Yeah, the work was good. The effort was there. I thought it was a good match. It's just, as you say, there's not that emotional hook where all the other matches, right? There's some connections for the average New Japan fan. And I'm not criticizing. Like, I'm not saying they shouldn't have put this match on the card. Like, I think it's good to have the the women's wrestling and the Stardom wrestlers and the those crossover matches and do something with the IWGP Women's Championship. But it's also not a surprise where there's not much to sink your teeth into in terms of the character's storyline element of being a New Japan fan. Because if you are a regular follower of New Japan Pro Wrestling, wouldn't have seen a huge amount of either of these wrestlers. So
No.
yeah, a bit of an emotional disconnect there from the work, which was good.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, but it needed to be incredible to kind of grab this crowd. And I felt also pretty bad too. They had the video package, the next challenger, which Alex Windsor. People had no idea. People had no idea. It was a shame. But again, it was a fine match. When I say the crowd can win a match and a crowd can, make a match less special, I think we're going for the latter here, because if they had the same energy in the beginning of the show, I don't think I think this would have been much better. But I just didn't think the crowd were there.
Yeah, maybe suffering from card placement.
Right. That's. I mean, and again, I think it's fair that they were placed where they were. Don't get me wrong, but again, we were well into the show, and I think some people maybe shot their load. I hate to say it, maybe they did. I don't know, but it didn't feel like the energy in the building was there. Again, 2 matches in a row. Just the energy didn't feel like it was 100% there.
And the main event, IWGP Global Heavyweight title match, Yota Tsuji successfully defending against Andrade El Idolo, 26 minutes, 44 seconds by Boston Crab.
Great match. I love the finish. I love the fucking Boston Crab finish again. Like,
yeah, see, I
No?
thought that was appropriate for the Wrestle Kingdom main event, where that was a big statement of Shin Nihon Ichiban, but I'm not sure about the sort of dynamics of it, doing it in this match, because it came right after Andrade kicked out of the Gene Blaster, which conditioned the Yankoid fans into thinking that they were going to go into some sort of like hyper mode final stretch, but
Right.
It just went straight into the Boston Crab. So I love the Boston Crab at Wrestle Kingdom. That it was very fitting for the story, and it kind of works here to be like, this is an outside challenger from a foreign company, but I thought that was a special move for a special moment at Wrestle Kingdom, and it becoming like a regular part of his moveset and finishing sequence kind of cheapens that a bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I hear you. I definitely hear you. But let me give you the flip side. We're going nutty over a Boston Crab. Yeah, I love that. Like, again, not a Gene Blaster, not anything super crazy. Pardon the pun. Like a Boston Crab. Like I love it. And here's the thing too. It is a bit of reconditioning, and it is a bit of re-education, and it is a bit of. But trust me, Boston Crab. The more times that we do this, and we've done it on 2 bigger profile, one very big, one medium big profile match, like against a guy that, let's be honest here, if you gave me $500 and said, okay, what's going to be the finish of this match? I don't think I would have gone, would have bet my hard-earned $500 on Boston Crab finish. I loved it. Secondly, you do have to tip your cap to Andrade for doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Could have easily said, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah. No doubt. But he did that. So I got to give some credit there. I thought the crowd. Look, this wasn't a situation where it was Okada, Tanahashi. But I think people are coming around and eventually will be at a spot where they can rally behind Tsuji in a very similar fashion that you would with, and it's going to take time, right? It's going to take that. That's why I think it's very important that this is not a 4 title defense, even a 5 title defense. Like, I feel like this needs to be like a 6, 7, 8. It has to go a little bit. I really feel like it's vital to do that, because I feel like Tsuji's on the cusp of something, and you could feel it in the crowd of, like, very easily this could have been a situation where, I don't know, a lukewarm response would have been something that where it wouldn't have surprised me. I don't think he got lukewarm response. I think he got a full-fledged, he's our guy, he's our champion kind of response. Again, was it Hulkamania running wild? No. But it was even better than I thought, which I think is very encouraging. Again, was it a packed house? No. The seats that they sold. Great. But I think the people that were there, again, whether they want to chant, this is awesome, whether they want to, whatever chants they want to do, it still felt like Tsuji was a guy that people not only have been like, oh, it is what it is, so we might as well get behind him. Like, I really felt like there was a true element of, okay, this guy is a guy. And I think that is massively important right now.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the risk. He's got the aura. He's the guy that I want captaining the ship in this time, leading us into the new era. And I think I was really pleasantly surprised that it was a nice, clean, decisive win over a guy who is a big name in wrestling, Andrade. Yeah. And I was worried going into it that there's going to be some sort of fuckery, that Andrade was going to win and that would be a way of getting the global title off of Tsuji, or there was going to be like some sort of fuck finish, because I was just getting flashbacks to that ridiculous double pin with Goto and Zach on one of the Yankoi shows last year. So yeah, props to them for actually dealing with the politics and having Tsuji go over strong. And we need more of that. And to me, that's, I don't want to say like wash the taste away from the Jake Lee match, because I thought the Jake Lee match was all right. I quite liked parts of it, but it's definitely exceeded that. And yeah, I want to see more of this and establish Tsuji as the man in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Andrade did really well. I'd love to see him back if there's any way of getting him in for the G1 Climax. I think that would be wonderful for everyone involved. And yeah, a guy, some people said a bit of reputation for, not wanting to do business, but absolutely did it here. So I'd say knocked it out of the park, all things considered.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the biggest, and it's again a minor little, I think a lot of people in the crowd thought this was a world heavyweight title match and not the global heavyweight title championship. Like there was no, I think there was no difference in people's minds. Again, small, tiny little thing that, again, probably annoyed me more than it should have. But yeah, it didn't matter that it was global or world or champion, whatever the fuck they're doing. People thought this was a title defense of the heavyweight championship, not the global heavyweight championship. So I think that's a little confusing right now for some New Japan fans, at least in the States, at least in Trenton, New Jersey, it was.
All right, well, let's move on to talking about New Japan Cup then. So, sportprowrestling.com, the pick'ems are live. You want to be getting your pick'ems in before tomorrow, because that's when the event kicks off. So, as I said, there's already an episode of the Patreon with me and Chris and Jeff Andrews going through the brackets and giving our predictions. But, Damon, we've not heard your predictions for the New Japan Cup. So I don't know if you've got the brackets in front of you, or you just want to give us your general thoughts on what you think needs to be achieved, sort of big picture with this New Japan Cup, because like to me there's not really a standout guy where you think like, yes, this is the guy who is got all the momentum, who's going to be going into New Japan Cup to win it. To me, this is like the bit in The Dark Knight Rises where the Joker, there's the two henchmen on the floor and he snaps the pool cue, throws it on the floor and says like, right, tryouts, one of you's getting a spot, and then they've got a fight to the death to see who can get it. That's what I want to see from guys like Shota Umino and Yu Uemura and Callum Newman. Like, make yourself undeniable, be so good that you're like, fuck everybody else, I am the guy that's going to step up and be on the level with Yota Tsuji. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting directions they could go in this New Japan Cup. So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on the tournament and what needs to be achieved.
Well, the first things first are the brackets were kind of weird. I know we really haven't talked about it, but I don't know how they determined who got buys and who didn't.
Well, I tell you what it is. It's because they want to have good matches, and so they've got to have the balance between good matches and shit matches. So if they put all the good wrestlers with a buy, then the first round matches are going to be crap. So I think they put a lot of they kind of got a mixed bag here. So we get some of the shitter wrestlers in the first round, some of the shitter wrestlers in the second round to kind of spread it out a bit in terms of match quality. That's my assessment of it anyway.
Fair enough. I mean, that's probably the most logical explanation I've heard.
You're not going to get a kayfabe.
Yeah, right. I mean, Yujiro has a buy. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Well, one, I know people always think like, well, this is a prime time opportunity to make a new star, right? I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, and by new star, I mean like a guy that comes out of nowhere and he's now a guy. I think it's incredibly important to heat up Aaron Wolf again. Like I think that has to be a priority. I feel like that has cooled off tremendously, and it shouldn't have, but that's where we are. I can't wait for the Chase Owens Yujiro match, to be quite honest with you.
Can I go back to Aaron Wolf? So I want to pull on that thread a bit more, because that match will be coming up tomorrow. That is the first match for this New Japan Cup that we're going to see.
Don Fale
against Don Fale. Yeah.
I mean, you would think
he wins that, and if so, how far do you think Aaron Wolf needs to go in this tournament to gain back that credibility?
I'm not even saying he has to go to the finals, but he's got to get past fucking Don Fale. He really does. And then after that, he would take on Shingo, right? Yeah. And I would not have a problem with him winning that match. He does not have to go to the finals for me to feel like you've reheated him up. I think an absolute, like, if he loses to Don Fale, we've lost the fucking plot here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think it would be insane to do that, but I could also see that being just a New Japan booking 101 thing where, like, I feel Aaron Wolf is headed towards a Dominion victory against Ren Narita. So that's where they'll have a proper match and he'll get his win back, and that will be the redemption moment, which unfortunately might necessitate him feuding with the rest of House of Torture. So I could absolutely see a scenario where he loses to Don Fale, but then they have a singles rematch on like Sakura Genesis or Don Taco or something, and then he gets his win back over Don Fale. I think that would be shit. That would be a terrible idea, but I could see them doing it. I would much rather they just do the classic thing of, oh look, Aaron Wolf's done a sick judo throw on the big fat man and everyone cheers. And I think that's what they're doing. I hope that's what they're doing. And then he can have a proper match with Shingo. And, he's not had a proper match yet. He's not had a non-House of Torture singles match. So I'd love to see what that looks like. I saw enough in the Wrestle Kingdom match against Evil that I think he can do those, that sort of high intensity, quote unquote, strong style kind of match. So I think that will be the play. I don't think he would need to beat Shingo. I think he could be competitive with Shingo in a high intensity match and come out with a lot of credibility. So that would be what I expect to see from Aaron Wolf. But yeah, if he loses in this opening match to Don Fale, then I shall put my foot through the screen and send Ghetto the bill.
And I look at his path, and it's like I could see him definitely beating Fale. Like, I can see that. I could also see, and it wouldn't hurt anyone to have Shingo take a fall to him as well. It would set up the way the brackets look. You could possibly get that rematch with Ren in a semifinal match. I mean, it would take a little bit of fucking creativity to get there. But it is there for the taking if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we want either of those men in the usual
yeah.
to be quite honest.
All right. Semifinals, Joe. Semifinals.
No, but if that is the semi-final match, then one of those would be in the final. And I don't want either of those guys in the final.
All right. I would think coming out of the left side of the bracket, we'll call it, Yuya's got a shot. Does Drilla Maloney have a shot? I'm going to say no. I want to say Aaron Wolf has a shot. He probably doesn't have a shot. Fale doesn't have a shot. Shingo shouldn't have a shot, but might have a shot. Tai Chi, you would love to see it, but it ain't going to happen. Ren has a shot. Ishii, probably not. El Phantasmo, probably not. Bolton Oleg, probably. He has a shot. I don't know if Hanare has a shot to make it to the finals. So I think it's between three guys. Bolton Oleg, Ren Narita, Aaron Wolf, Four guys. Aaron Wolf and Yuya. Of those four, if I had to put money down, Yuya.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should be Yuya because he and Shota have been featured fairly prominently for their tag team, which didn't actually achieve anything. They didn't win the tournament, they didn't win the titles, but they've been put in big spots where they're consistently failing. So Yuya did a backstage interview where they've essentially put the tag team on ice, and part of me was just like, oh, that's exactly what us wrestling fans love to see.
Something we enjoy.
Conflicts settled backstage amicably over words that don't get seen in a wrestling ring. But it wasn't like, oh, we're never teaming again. It was more like, look, this hasn't worked so far, so we'll put it on the back burner for now and focus on being singles wrestlers. So I think there's a story in that to show that whilst they are not an elite tag team, I feel that they both need to have deep runs in this tournament, and maybe to the extent to which I still think that's going to be the final. So I do expect Yuya to be going to the final because I think he needs that. I think he's got the talent for it, but he needs someone to light a fire under his ass and be like, look, you can't just be happy to be here, like smiling happy Yuya, because if you do that, someone's going to take your fucking spot and you're going to go to the back of the line. There are guys who are, younger than you, hungrier than you, who will eat your lunch if you're not careful. So I want to see some fire from him. I know he's a really good wrestler. I've seen it from him, but I want to see some fire. I want to see some passion from him in this tournament. But I think he would be my pick to make it through from that side of the bracket. Although, they do like to have a spoiler, an upset in the first round. So would you be absolutely stunned if Great O'Khan gets the upset win over him? Yes. I wouldn't. I don't think they should do it, but I think that is the sort of terroristic booking that New Japan like to inflict on us, because that's what you got to do with your New Japan Cup pick'ems. You map it out, what you think makes sense, what you want to see, and then you pick 3 matches at random and just flip them, because that's how the New Japan Cup works.
I can't imagine, like, if it were anybody else in that spot, I can't imagine anybody but Great O'Khan, be quite honest with you. Like, now he's going to get that, you know what I mean? Like, that would just be preposterous to me. I'm trying to think, who would be the upset? Maybe El Phantasmo? Maybe in the first round? Oh, God, they couldn't. Yuya's got to be it. Like, he's got to be. He can't lose to O'Khan. Like, that would just, I mean, whew, how do you recover from that? All right side.
Can I just stick with the left side? Just one more thing I wanted to ask you about Ren Narita, because obviously Evil is out of the company. How strongly do you think they will book Ren? Also, keeping in mind that he is the never openweight champion.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I think
there's potential here for him to take a loss that would set up a title defense for Sakura Genesis. So how far do you think he goes? Who do you think eliminates him to have a crack at that belt?
I honestly think he can make it to the semifinals. Like, he can make it to that block semifinals. Like, don't sleep on Ren. Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, don't sleep on him, because I mean, just that lower end of the block. I mean, in that lower end of the block, it's Taichi. He's got in the first round. Then Ishii can take.
Well, it's not Ishii. It's Kojima now, because Ishii.
Oh, correct. He's just hurt, right? Well, then definitely. Okay, then even easier path. And then the bottom half of that bracket is El Phantasmo, Bolton Oleg, and Hanare. Like, you mean to tell me he can't get past any one of those three? Like, right now in the pecking order of the company, he's higher than all of those guys.
Yeah, he probably should be getting past all 3 of those.
Right. I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah. I think, do you have a dark horse?
Oleg Bolton, I think he would be
That's not a bad one.
Interesting one to go through. Like, if he beats Ren and stakes a claim to having a crack for the Never title again, and Oleg against Yuya as a semi-final would be, very bold mission statement for the future of this company.
How about Drilla?
Nah, I just can't see it.
That would be my I can't believe they're doing this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like him going on would be that. He's got to get through some he's got to get past Yuya. He would have to get past, any one of Aaron Wolf or Shingo, and then he would have to get past like your Bolton Oligs, your Hanares, and all that. I don't think it's like I think it's like he's got to buy, and then like his stiffest challenge would be Yuya. He would be like my dark horse. You know what I mean? Like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, dark horse. Yeah. All right. Right side. What we got? Yoshihashi against Jake Lee. Goto gets a bye. He would take on the winner of that match. Oscar versus Callum. And he would take on getting a bye Hartley Jackson. Shota Chase. And they would take on the winner of that match would take on Yujiro. Yuto Ice Oiwa. And then the winner of that match will take on Zach. Callum Newman's got to be the fucking front runner on this, right? I would say top 3 would be Callum, Shota. I could see Shota beating Zach. I could see on the 17th. I could see Shota beating Zach and getting to the semifinals. I'll say Callum. So a final will have Callum versus Yuya, which would be pretty good.
Yeah, Callum's got a lot of momentum, hasn't he? But again, he's a guy where time is on their side. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's got like a 3-year deal. So there's no rush with him. And I think maybe there's a more interesting story you can tell with him in having a few near misses and having that resentment bubbling up and festering and mouldering, so that when Ospreay does appear, then that can be sort of a tinderbox for that, where he just explodes with jealousy and rage and envy, and that is the kind of spark for kicking off their feud.
Or you can go the other way and have him be like, okay, I'm dominating. Now you're going to stroll back in. Yeah.
The only thing that's going to be paused there is Goto, because
Me too.
he's a former world champion, and I feel this would be the sort of tournament where he gets booked strongly to sort of reestablish him as a commodity.
And you're going to have a solid main event, right? Like you're going to have someone you trust to get deep in the tournament, to have great matches, right? So
I can see him making the semis.
I can. Yeah, I definitely can. Yeah, I think this is
there's also the angle to consider where Callum lost to Goto at Dontaku last year. So is he going to get his win back? But again, maybe that's something I could see the logic in sort of building up to that, where he loses to him again, and then him eventually getting that singles win over Goto as a signifier of his progression. But it's a real coin flip. It's very hard to pick, because I'm always sort of on the side of you go with a hot hand, and Callum Newman does have a ton of momentum. So I would love to see him going deep and maybe even making it to the final, maybe even winning it. But I do know New Japan like their booking trends, and Goto's a guy that I can't hand wave here.
Are we completely forgetting about Zach?
No, again, he's got pedigree in the tournament, hasn't he?
He sure does.
He's a 2-time winner. So
could he easily fall into that role that you have for Goto?
He could. Absolutely. I don't know. It's really hard to pick that match between him and Oiwa.
Yeah.
The student and the master. Because either of those guys go through, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Shota that they would face. But, you can run the Shota-Zach rematch, which flopped at Wrestle Kingdom, but was great during the G1. So running that back would be really good. But I'd also, New Japan Cup is the sort of tournament where you want to be kicking the tires on a guy like Oiwa. and all the tag stuff that he's done together with Zach maybe would be the right time, where if you're not necessarily going to go all the way with him in the tournament, to have him get an upset win over his mentor, Zack Sabre Jr., would in and of itself be a signifier of his progression, even if he were then to get bounced in the next round in a fiery competitive match against Shota Umino. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Do any of the Knockout Brothers get out of the first round?
I don't think so. No, I think
I can see
the story
Yuta.
there is
I can see Yuta
they
ice.
are. Yeah, maybe. I think the story there is they are an elite tag team, but singles wrestlers not there yet.
Okay. I mean, I would be willing to at least play with that experiment. Yuta Ice beating Oiwa, taking on Zach. He could lose there.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of geeking out Oiwa, isn't it? Because Oiwa's lost his tag title challenge against Yuta Ice to then lose to him again in a singles match.
Is anybody going to lose sleep? I don't think anybody's going to lose sleep.
Oiwa probably wouldn't. The salaryman wrestler, as long as he gets his paycheck, he's happy to be there.
Right, exactly. I want to be bad. That wouldn't be bad. All right, so I'm saying Callum, Yuya, final. My dark horses, again, I think Ren Narita has to be in that mix on the left. On the right, probably Goto, I would say, is my dark horse. Maybe Zach, but I'm going Callum, Yuya, final.
I think from the right side of the bracket, in my semi-final, I've got Goto and Shota Umino. I think Shota's making it to the final. I think it's the Mega Powers Explode final. Shota against Yuya.
Ooh.
I think Shota's winning the cup.
Whoa, is that right?
Yeah.
See, I was going to go Callum winning the cup.
My logic being Shota was the losing finalist last year.
Okay.
And they like to do that, don't they? Where
yeah,
guy loses a final, then within a year or a year or two, they've won the cup.
Right. I just think there's so much momentum behind Callum right now. And like he could use that feather in the cap. And I think that's more important right now than anybody else getting over. Like I feel like him getting over is more important than anybody else on that right side, including Shota. And quite frankly, the left side as well. So, for Yuya. So it'll never happen. so we with the logical, we went the logical approach and the logical route, and we know that's not going to fucking happen now. It'll be Don Fale against Yujiro in the finals. Enjoy. 400th show in the books.
I just feel it's Shota's time. I think he's just done tremendous work with the tag team. The story elements of it are there. I think he and Tsuji had a really great match in I think it was like the quarterfinals of the G1 at Korakuen Hall. So something for them to revisit as Sakura Genesis. I don't think I would have Shota Umino win that, but just to kind of to have that benchmark there of where he is in this, in terms of like our hierarchy for the Reiwa Musketeers. And I just think he's a really good wrestler. I don't know. I know people can't get by the confused gimmick and the gear and everything and the entrance, but like when the bell rings, guy can fucking go. He's a hard motherfucker. He hits people hard. He's
over Callum.
I just think he's neat. No, I would have him against Goto semi-final and then Shota Yuya final.
Okay. All right. Listen, I think it's Callum's time. Callum or Yuya. We'll go with. And I do want to give you a little bit of news that might sway your opinion. Chase Owens lost 5 pounds, so he's fit and he's ready to go.
Ooh. You're imagining like an absolute ripped Goldberg-esque physique on Chase Owens.
I was watching. I don't even know what day it was, but it came across my feed of you're familiar with Goldberg in I want to say it was Pride. Maybe it was Pride. or it might have been, I don't know. No, it wasn't Pride because Muda was in the ring, waiting for him to get off a Suitabashi station, and he walks.
Yes, yeah,
from-
doing his big entrance to the Tokyo Dome.
Unbelievable.
Muto's face when he's
Sit in the ring.
Fucking hell.
Somebody get me a chair.
He looks so cross.
Oh, he's like, what the fuck? Who agreed to this? Like, he's getting off, literally getting off the leaving the train station at Suitabashi Station, going over the ramp, over the highway, going down to past Cork and Hall, into the Tokyo Dome, in through, and then he has to go to the dressing room, and he's like being led by these military guys, and then they bang on the door, right? They let him know, it's time, Goldberg. So, guy bangs on the door, and nobody opens the door. So you can see the guy kind of looking around with his eyes, like, do I have to hit the door again? And he's ready to hit the door again, and the door flies open. It's so great. What an entrance. What am I great? Pro wrestling's so great. All right, that's 400.
Like late stage Muto's bad behavior could be attributed to that particular moment where he was just like, fuck this.
Yep. I guarantee you that was a moment where he was just like, what have I gotten my, like, I hope that paycheck was lots of zeros, man. Lots of zeros. Because what a fucking nonsense, unbelievable, like one of the greatest moments in pro wrestling history for sure.
So that's New Japan Cup. We've also got the anniversary event coming up this Friday in Ota City General Gymnasium. We've got a pair of title matches there. One is the IWGP Junior Tag Championship, where the champions, Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, will be defending against Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori.
A lot of Robbies. That should be good. That's always really good. I don't know. Can we talk about some things that we've heard whispers about?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
All right. All right. Boy, people are like, what could it be? All right, listen, Joel said no, we're not doing it. But do you think there's a title change here?
I'm worried that if there is, someone's going to lose their job. So I hope not.
All right. So again, everyone
at some point, right? They are going to have to do the Kosei, pull the trigger on Fujita as the ace of the junior division. That will be when Kosei Fujita wants to do it.
There you go.
From what I've heard. So when he's had enough of his tag team forays, then when it's going to happen sooner or later. Maybe it happens now. Maybe we're sort of looking towards Best of Super Juniors time. I don't know, but it is coming.
Yeah,
I just don't know when. Like the junior division has been a mess, and there's a lot of politics in the reason why. Like stuff we heard that when I heard it was like, oh, okay, that's why everything was so weird at Wrestle Kingdom. But again, I don't know how much veracity there is in that. No one really knows. I just hear sort of bits and pieces backstage from various people. But either way, this match should be good, right? They had a really great match during the Super Junior Tag League, which I don't think many people watched. The whole Super Junior Tag League was swallowed up under the miasma of House of Torture bullshit. So people kind of hand wave the whole thing. But I think this match was like the de facto semi-final or the block decider or something. And it's brilliant. So I hope they can sort of tap back into that magic and have a really good match here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the Ichiban Sweet Boys retain, but I think it'll be good.
All right. Fingers crossed. Listen, it all depends on what Robbie Eagles' WWE start date is, right? That's Robbie's like, keep talking, boys.
What's it? The Bloodline feud.
Yeah, actually Robbie Eagles is Danhausen. I didn't know if you knew that. Yes.
Behave.
Do you like Danhausen? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, I don't get it.
I love it. I swear to God, I find him it is so goofy that I love it. I'm sorry. I think he's hilarious. I don't know why, but that's my dumb Yankoid imbecileness. I do like the Danhausen though. I think it's fun. I think it's more funny with him showing up and people being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. All right, very good. All right, so what's the second match on this anniversary show, Joel?
Second match is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with Doki defending against Master Wato.
Oof. Yeah. I can't tell you that I'm excited for this.
I'm just viewing it through the angle of like when we do eventually have full Fujita Mania, who do we want him dethroning? Is it going to be Doki, which I think probably makes the most sense.
To me,
but
it does.
Could it be Master Wato? Because I know I keep banging on about this. I'm the only one who cares about this match. But during Best of Super Juniors last year, Wato and Fujita had an incredibly heated block match. They looked like they hated each other. They just beat the piss out of each other. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? And it seemed to be sort of sowing the seeds for a generational rivalry. So that is something I'm very, very keen to revisit. I want Wato versus Fujita on a big stage, and they will go mental, right? They're going to beat the shit out of each other. So I just don't know when that's going to come and in what configuration. It could very well be like I could see Wato winning the title here, and then maybe Fujita wins Best of the Super Juniors again, and then we have like Wato against Fujita for the title following that, maybe at Dominion, or maybe even headlining Dominion. Oh, probably not headlining Dominion,
Wow.
but give it some time. I think that would be like a strong mission statement for New Japan this year, and two, homegrown guys going all out. So there's a lot of interesting. I just want the title off Doki, to be honest. I just
all right.
enough of it. It's just been just really quite fed up with the state of the junior singles division because of the lack of clarity and long-term view in the long-term planning in the booking. It's just not been very satisfying to watch, has it?
Joel is so unsatisfied that he's talking about generational feuds with Master Wato on show 400.
I will be on the right side of history for this.
I'll tell you what, bookmark it. Take out that audio and save it and shove it square in my face if it happens. I would be shocked, but look.
Fuck it. Wato's winning. I'm calling it.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. First Arsenal, now Wato. What's next? What a world we live in. What a world.
No, you're not with me on that?
No. I think that long pause of dead air would signify not on board. Not on board. I know you're heartbroken. All right, is there anything else that we need to discuss here on the New Japan Super J-Cast?
No.
Goodbye.
My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.